Here we go. Awesome. Just keep doing the neck rolls, nice and slow, getting into some of those crunchy, tense parts. We just had a holiday, but I feel like that's now in the rear view mirror, and we're all back to work and the tension is already immediately there. And then when you come back to center, we're now going to get a little bit deeper into the sides of our neck. So taking your right hand, intend to get out on the floor beside you. And then leaning over to the left a little bit. And then bringing your ear to your shoulder. Mine doesn't go very far right now, it's quite tight. And then if you want to intensify it, first breathe into this for a second, see how that feels. And then if you want, you can lightly place your hand and kind of give your neck, not a pull, but just a little bit of weight there. And then breathe into that, making sure your spine is still long. Really getting deeply into the side muscles. And then when you're ready, you can kind of help your head up to neutral. Yeah, good. And then we'll do that on the other side. So now tenting at your left arm. Yeah, reach it way out there and tent it out. You might already feel a stretch like that. And then you're leaning your right ear to your right shoulder now. I don't have very good range of motion right now, and that's okay. Breathing into that for a second before using the hand for more intensity. Good, and if you feel like you're ready, then you can take your hand and just gently, yeah, good. It looks really gentle, beautiful. Trying to breathe way down into your lower back. On the exhale, you might feel even more of a stretch on the left side. You can even just close and relax the eyes if that feels good for the last breath. And then I like to push my head up to neutral. Just because it's feeling so relaxed, none of the muscles want to work. Good. Let's roll our shoulders back a few times. Just feeling maybe even already a release in the neck and the shoulders. I have so much tension because I'm in a new place and I don't have my desk set up, so I'm like sitting on the couch doing work. It's ridiculous. So this feels really good. All right, bringing out your legs for a second, just straighten them in front of you and give them a little shake, because I know sitting cross-legged sometimes can get hard on the knee after a while. Sorry, I just had a message. And then switch the cross of your legs to be opposite of what they were, just to give the one a break. And now we're going to open up our arms to the side, have them float up to the sky. Yeah, stretch up. And then on the exhale, you're going to twist to the right, and we're going to hold this twist. So you don't have to go very deep at first. Just make it really gentle. And then as you breathe in, feel your body expand. And as you exhale, you might be able to twist a little bit more to the right. Feeling a ringing out of the back. This should feel good on the spine. And then inhaling again, growing tall, growing wider, and exhaling, twisting a little more. One more of those. So keeping your left hand on your right knee, now we're just going to lift up our right arm and we're going to take it to the left. Yeah, Nice. So this should be a really good stretch all down the right side. I can even feel this in my hip. Making sure that your shoulder's not coming up to your ear. If this bothers your right shoulder, you can even do a cactus arm like this. One more breath here. And then coming on up. Ooh, deep, juicy stretch. Let's do that on the other side now. Let's bring our arms up, floating them up. We're in a really relaxed way. Neck and shoulders is relaxed. Good, and then just slowly twisting over to the left now. Very gently at first. Just feeling a mini twist. And then as you breathe into it, you can go a little deeper. Filling up your whole body with breath. Wringing out the organs, wringing out the back. When we compress the organs with a twist, and then we release it, the blood flow comes back. Good, and then you can release that, but keep your right knee on your right hand on your left knee, and then do the side stretch over like that. Making sure your shoulders are relaxed. You can even let your head go and just flop to the right. I think I just almost drooled. And then just breathing here, and if it's too much on the neck and shoulders, again, you can cactus your arm. Feeling that really intense side stretch. And then one more breath if it feels good. And coming back to neutral. Good. Now it's time to uncross our legs. Let's put them out in front of us again and just give them a little shake. Make sure the knees are feeling okay. And we're going to now bring our feet on the mat with our knees bent. Yeah, just gonna do a couple cat and cows this way here. So grabbing onto the knees, and as you inhale, you're going to push your heart forward, open up, look up. On the exhale, rounding your spine and stretching through that upper back and shoulders, chin to chest. Just exaggerate your movements as much as possible. Open and inhale. Exhale. Round the spine. And it might not look like a huge movement, but inside it might feel that way. Exhale, rounding. And then let's just go a little faster here. So inhaling, open. Exhale, round. Inhaling, open. Exhale, round. It's almost like a rocking motion. Rocking back, forward, back, forward. And let's let that go. Awesome. All right, we're gonna do a seated pigeon. So if this is not comfortable, just come to lying on your back, just because I wanted to get into some of the hips today. So for this one, you can try this out and just see if your knee is okay. So you're gonna put your arms behind you and just kind of support yourself while you bring, oh, Selena's here. Hold on a sec. Oh, and it looks like Jackie's message too. Sorry guys, hold on one sec. Actually, I can't check that while it's recording. All right, hi Selena. All right, looks like she's still getting connected. So for the seated pigeon, you'll have your, your right ankle come over your left knee. Hi Selena. Good, so, and what you can do is, if this is already a stretch right here, then just breathe into that. If it's not feeling good, you can move your left foot out so that your knee isn't as close to your chest. If you want more of a stretch, move your knee closer. And then just breathe here. You can always kind of wiggle around too and just see like what feels good. Yeah, nice. And then the third level would be to take your leg and cradle it in your arm like this and kind of rock it back and forth. Now that's pretty intense, so I would say just careful here with your knee and your hip. And then the other version, of course, would be lying down doing this. And then you can let that go and let everything go. Legs come out in front of you. Again, you can wiggle it and shake it out if that feels good. And then we'll go to the other side with that seated pigeon. So left ankle over right knee. Now this side is a little bit awkward for me. So I'll literally stay right here and just breathe through it. Just letting Selena in again. Hopefully it works this time. So breathing into the left hip, opening up the glute, opening up the hip. This feels really good if you've been sitting or bending down, up and down all day. Good, and then if you find yourself like, if it feels loose enough, you can always go into that like rocking, taking it in your arm and rocking it a little bit. Hopefully the connection's working now, Selena. It looks like her internet's a little slow. Okay, good, and then you can let that go. Legs out in front, wiggle them around again. And then we're gonna swing our knees over and come onto all fours. Coming onto all fours. Just making your way up there. And then once you get there, you can take your right hand and bring it all the way up, opening up, and just swing it on under. Thread the needle. One of my favorites for shoulders and back. And then this is also a twist, and if you want to intensify the twist, you can take your left hand and bring it up to the sky. Now, if that's too hard on your neck though, take it back down. And then breathe here. Feeling the back open up, the shoulder opening up. Even the side of your neck might feel like it's getting a stretch. And then on the next inhale, coming out of that, so opening up, reaching to the sky, and let's switch sides. This is such a good one, you guys. I do it pretty much every day after work. Inhaling, opening up to the left now, and then exhaling, flowing through. It should feel really good. If you feel tension in your neck, just put a little bit more weight in the right hand. Make sure the right hand's supporting you. And then if you feel fine in the neck, you can move into the even deeper twist by opening up to the right. Right arm comes to the ceiling. Breathing here. And you can come on out of that now. Inhaling, opening up to the sky. Oh, exhaling, placing the hand down now. Walking the hands out in front of you, almost really to the end of your mat. And letting your chest fall through puppy pose. This should feel like an intense stretch under your armpits, for your shoulders. Make sure your neck's feeling okay. Breathe here for 2 breaths. One more. now just a teeny bit, maybe like 5 inches. We're gonna move towards getting up into a downward dog, so tucking under your toes, making sure your core is engaged, and then lifting your hips up to the sky if it feels good. If not, go into a child's pose. You can wiggle around in your downward dog, feeling the strength in the palms as you push the mat away from you. Feeling your bum floating up to the sky. And then trying to get your heels down eventually. They may never make it down. I know mine won't. And on the next inhale, walking ourselves up to the top of the mat and dangling over into a ragdoll position now. Letting everything go. Head, neck, shoulders, let it all be heavy. Dead weight in the upper body. And if you want, you can clasp your hands behind your back for an intensified shoulder stretch. Only if it feels good. Breathing here, letting all of the stress and the tense shoulders, let them go. Whatever happened today at work, it's all over now. This is a fresh start. And then bringing your hands to the floor, let's have our left hand come into the center between our feet. And we're going to bend the left knee and open up into a twist to the right. Now you should feel an intense stretch in your right. Yeah, nice job, guys. Intense stretch in your right IT band. And your hips too. Good, and then come back down, and we're gonna switch sides. So right hand comes to the middle of the feet, in the middle of the feet, bending deeply in your right leg, and then opening up to the left. Oh, gorgeous, you guys. Breathing into that IT band. Oh, can be really uncomfortable. Sitting with uncomfortable feelings is okay. No judgment. Good, and then letting that go down into a forward fold again. And then we're gonna slowly make our way up, bend in the knees, firming up the belly, and just coming up one vertebrae at a time with your head last to come up. And then giving your shoulders a really nice kind of roll back. Yeah, rolling your shoulders back a couple times. Nice. Just letting any of tension that's accumulated out. Awesome. All right, let's just do a few standing poses. Actually, I'm going to take a drink of water if you guys want to do that. This is a cleansing class. We're trying to twist out all the toxins, trying to make a fresh start. Water is always a great part of that. Awesome. All right, so coming to the front of your mat, just get situated here. Tall spine, tail is tucked just a little bit. Then we're going to take the right foot and float it back into high lunge. Pew! Definitely a balance challenge there. Good, and then we're going to actually bring our hands to our heart in Anjali Mudra or prayer. And then if it's available to you, we're going to take the right elbow and place it on the left knee. So we're prayer twisting now. Good. Oh, awesome, you guys. Definitely a challenging pose here. Let's breathe. Making sure your shoulders aren't holding all the tension. If you fall in, come back out, come back in. Awesome. One more breath. Good. And then I want you to put your hands down on the mat inside of your left foot because we're heading into a lizard pose. So you might have to move your left foot to the left side of your mat, like scooch it out a little bit. So this is going to get into the right hip flexor and left hip. I like to keep my knee off the ground because I feel like it's a better stretch, but also Having it on the ground is absolutely fine. So breathing now into our lizard pose. You can move around a little bit if you want, do circles. Awesome. And then on the next inhale, we're going to, on the exhale, we're going to try to push back into downward dog if you want to do that. So inhaling, and on the exhale, back to downward dog. Oy. Yes, 2 breaths here. Good, and then knees come down and we'll just push back into child's pose for a breath. Enjoy child's pose right now. You've just earned it. But you don't have to earn it. You can do it anytime. Good. Let's move back into downward dog. So bringing the hands a little bit farther up on the mat. And then pushing back, floating up to downward dog. Then we're going to walk to the top of the mat right away. We're going to come into a halfway lift. So you'll have a flat back, lifting halfway. Shoulders are pressed together. And then exhale, fold forward, let it all go. Come up again, inhale to flat back, shoulders pressed together. Nice straight spine. Exhale, forward fold again. Let's do this one more time. Inhaling, crown is lifted, back is flat, and then exhale, let it go. On the inhale, we're going to bend the knees, and we're going to sweep our arms all the way up in one motion, up to the sky, bringing the hands together, and then at the heart, hands to the heart in prayer. Awesome. All right. Okay, so let's bring the hands to the side. We're just going to float now the left leg back, pew, into a high lunge. You can take a little maneuvering. So I'm just kind of scooching the front foot forward and bouncing around into it, making sure the hips are faced forward too. And then again, beautiful, hands come to heart, and we're going to do the twisted high lunge. So on the inhale, crown comes to the sky, and on the exhale, left elbow to right knee. Ooh, this is a balance challenge here. So just breathing into it. No judgment. We're going to do one more breath before we let this go. On the exhale, you can now bring your hands down to the mat inside the right foot. Yeah, and then scooch the right foot over to the side. Just so you're opening up the space there between the legs. And yeah, now we're in lizard. Just getting into our hips in a really deep way. Now that we're all warmed up, you can drop your back knee too, just as effective. And breathing here. Nice. Making sure there's no tension in the shoulders. One more breath. Feeling the hips opening up. And then we're going to push back into child's pose. Oi! Wide-legged, legs together, whatever child's pose is the most relaxing and restorative for you. Forehead comes down to the mat. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Resting before we go into our next pose. Just taking advantage of a little bit of rest. Breathing here. And then when you're ready, come back up onto hands and knees. Let's do 2 cat and cows, just to kind of rinse all that out. So inhaling, dropping the belly, looking up. And exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, chin to chest, tucking the tail. Awesome, and then coming to neutral. We're going to push back into downward dog one more time. This is the last one of the night. Breathing here just for one breath. And then walking to the top of the mat. And bending the knees and floating the arms all the way up, flying up, reaching them to the ceiling. Coming down, hands to heart. Bringing all the energy down, ground yourself. And then hands at the side. Good. Last standing pose of the night. We're going to do a standing twist. This is going to definitely be a challenge for balance. So just give yourself some grace and enjoy it. So grounding down into the left foot, making sure it's strong and stable. Just feeling like almost roots, like pulling it down. And then up through the crown. So you're lifted tall through the crown, grounding down through the feet. And you're gonna float your right leg up. You guys see that? Yeah, exactly. Right leg is up at a 90-degree angle. And then you can take your left hand to your right knee, and you're gonna open up in a twist. Yeah, big balance challenge here. So one step at a time. Yeah, good. Looks great, you guys. So your drishti, or your gaze, could be right out in front of you. You're going to pick a point and just kind of let your eyes relax there. Good. Opening up the right side of the chest. More twisting to release all the toxins. And then exhale, letting it go. And let's shake that out a little bit. Yes, we'll do that on the other side, and then we'll be going back down to the mat again. So grounding now through your right foot, crown reaches to the sky, core is engaged, and then you're just gonna float your left knee up. Awesome. Ooh, it might crack. Good. It can stay, that can be your pose right there. Boom, you're done. Next level, reach for the knee. And just give it ever so slight twist. Good. You're looking, well, you're looking to your left, but you're looking straight ahead now. And then to challenge even more, open the arm to the back of the room and reach to the back of the room. Good. Last step would be to look to the back of the room. Good. 2 more breaths here. Right leg and right glute are doing a lot of work for you right now. 1 more breath. And releasing that all down. Ooh, shake it up. Ew, good job, you guys. That one was a challenge for sure. I wanted to get in couple challenging poses there. All right, so we're gonna come down now on our bums. We're gonna start winding down. Coming on to the bum, and then we are going to do just one core exercise before we come down for one last twist. So we're not going to do boat today. We're going to do something different. So we'll actually start like we would in boat or navasana. And then, so feet are on the floor and core is engaged and your chest is lifted. And then I'll have you bring your hands to your heart in prayer. Yeah. And then we're just going to move to the left, twist to the, yep. So we're basically just doing little twists, working our obliques here. I'm sure, Selena, you do this with weight at your workout when you're getting your training. I've seen people do it with weights in their hand like this. So even without the weight, it's really challenging. We will do, let's do 5 more. 1, 2. Yep, there's that weight. 3. You go, girl. 4. And 5. Release. Bring the legs out straight in front of you now. Just releasing the hip flexors. If your hip flexors were trying to do the work like mine were because of weak abs, just want to release that. Yay! Good job, you guys. So now it's time for us to come down on our backs, and we're going to do a really just a relaxing twist to end the class. So coming back on your back, you can take your legs and pull them in towards your chest. Whatever feels good to you at this point. You can open your knees. Bring your knees wide if you want, if that feels good. Rocking back and forth. Just letting your body relax now. Letting any last bit of tension move through you and out of you. And if there's still tension, that's okay too. Just be gentle with yourself. Great, and then you can bring your knees together. Arms come out in a T, and just drop your knees over to the left. Oh, that should feel good. Gaze can be straight up to the ceiling, or you can move your head over to the right and gaze towards your right fingers. You can close your eyes now. Your whole body should be relaxed. Just let yourself kind of flop now. A couple more breaths. And when you're ready, you can bring your knees up again. Hug them into your chest one more time. And then with the arms out, let them now flop over to the opposite side. Awesome. And then just breathing here for a little bit. Can you release any further? Just release to the point that your body is completely flopped. There is nothing to do. There's no way to look. Just pure relaxation and flopping. And then we'll just take another couple breaths here. Enjoying this relaxing space. Giving ourselves some love for coming to the class tonight and practicing. There's so many things competing for our attention. So much on the to-do list. Sometimes it's hard to stop. You can bring your knees back up now. And you can either let your knees now flop out like in a butterfly pose. And if that's not comfortable for Shavasana, just bring them out straight in front of you. If you want a little bit more opening in your hips and it feels good, you can just open them out with bent knees. My hands are still completely just like in a T because it felt good. Your hands can be down by your side in a T, up above your head, whatever feels good, whatever feels most open. Soaking in all the benefits of that half hour. Soaking in the work, the detoxing, the fresh start. And as the video makes its way to a close and you guys are still in Shavasana, that's absolutely fine. Just take your time getting up after this, and I just want to say namaste. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thanks for joining. Have an awesome, lovely night, and I hope you feel detoxed. See you next time.